Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. So this will be our first VOD review of season, what is this, season 11, I believe. Wow, season 11 already of Overwatch 2. What is time, huh? Alright, so we are going to VOD review a Lucio on Ilios. So anybody that knows me knows that Lucio is my main, so I enjoy a good Lucio VOD review. Especially on any Lucio main's favorite map, or should be favorite map, is Ilios. I feel like these maps are a dime a dozen. In terms of good Lucio maps, but there's slowly becoming a penny a dozen. There's just not many of them. But Ilios has always been a good Lucio map. I think it's always been that and Lijiang Tower as my personal favorites after 2CP went away. Anyway, already going off on a tangent, so let's get into our VOD review here. So, they write, is my Lucio good? I picked up Lucio 1 year ago. I started to main him because of his high mobility and viability and his fun factor. I'm mostly a quick play enjoyer, but then I started to pick up rank, and then I started to main Lucio. I saw many people complain about the lack of heals that I was giving. Something on the lines of... complain about the lack of heals that I was giving, something in the lines of that. Then I started question if I am good or not on Lucio. Oh, okay. I also think that you guys can give me tips on improving as Lucio. All right, so if you're a Lucio player, you will always be flamed about the amount of healing you give on the character. Sorry, I got some chips and beer cracked open next to me. I didn't feel like getting into any video games, so I thought I'd do a VOD review or two. So, yeah, when it comes to Lucio, you will be asked to swap a lot. If your team's not playing really close together, your healing numbers will always be on the lower side. That's just what's going to happen. When you start playing Lucio a lot, and you start noticing teams that play more together, you'll probably have the highest healing number in the lobby if you play it correctly. But when everybody's all over the place doing whatever, God knows what, this is a Silver 2 lobby, so they'll probably be doing that. Yeah, Lucio's not going to have the greatest of stats. However, one thing I will say, I don't know how many people actually think about this or look at this, but your mitigation from your beat drops, in my head, I count that as healing. If you think about it, they're taking damage from overhealth that you gave from your ult that doesn't actually kill them. So that's healing on top of it. So Lucio's value comes from speeding people around. It comes from his mobility. It comes from him poking, diving in on certain diveable heroes. We see they already have Widow, so that's going to be a diveable hero. Zen can be diveable. Junkrat could be diveable. There's a lot of diveable characters here. So with that being said, the value you provide isn't necessarily going to be large healing numbers. However, you have a Zen next to you. So, I don't know if you just got unlucky and you got queued up with 2 Lucio mains and he's just pissed off now that he can't be Lucio on Ilios. I've been there. I definitely don't take too kindly when I can't get Lucio when I get Ilios. My frustration, especially if I've been playing for a while. If I'm maybe like brand new to my sitting down of games for the night, I might be a little bit more patient about it. If I'm 5 or more games in, especially if I've been on a little bit of a losing streak and suddenly I get Ilios and I can't get Lucio, I'm going to be a little pissed off. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm wondering if maybe this guy's a Lucio main as well, because otherwise, there's absolutely no reason to be running Zen Lucio on Ilios. And everybody should know that Ilios is Lucio's playground. So why are you picking Zen next to a Lucio? I'm more harping on this guy than you picking Lucio here. In my mind, you're completely validated in your Lucio pick. This is, as I said, this is Lucio's playground. But I hate the Lucio Zen combination. It is, in my opinion, one of the worst support comps in the game. It can be worked around, but you're gonna need like you need a lot of self-sufficiency from your teammates. You need them playing undercover, or you need them playing characters that can self-heal, or you need them playing characters that just tend not to take a lot of damage. As of right now, you do have that in the Sombra, but the Orissa's going to probably have a bad time here. But in terms of the Lucio pick, obviously I like it. So let's dig into this game, and I think I've done a far longer than I needed to intro here.
Round 1. Capture.
You want that louder?
Finally, time for some pie.
I can already tell you just from this rollout, your wall riding needs work. I can just tell just from that rollout. Oh yeah. You're not moving from these pillars very well. You should be gliding off of these things and keeping height, assuming you want to keep height. Maybe you want to be playing lower. Maybe you're worried about like somebody sniping you from a distance, which if that's the case, so be it. If that's your reasoning. If you're not actually trying to do that, typically people, the Lucios I'm used to seeing how I typically play, I usually try to get higher up on those pillars, take a few poke shots with my gun, and then if I see a Widow, then I get down, or I try to figure out where she's going to take a position and then try to see if I can get over and either start poking at her a bit or actually going in and diving her. A lot of that's going to just depend on what the opposing team is running, might even depend what your team is running. But you're playing very low and you're not moving from these pillars very well. You're I can't even think of a good way to describe this without just like loading into an Ilios map and showing you, but like right now your team is all right here and you're in the middle of team 2's team composition right now. And then on top of that, you're shooting a tank that's armored. Everybody's there. So what is going on with Lucio's fingers? That is creepy. But what you're doing right now is there's nothing good about any of this. Like you're not doing anything to that tank. You're in a position to get killed. Your team's not gaining any benefit from you. So this is right here now good.
That's not right.
And honestly, you should be dead.
Pick it up, pick it up.
Even the way you got out was very sloppy. So, like, okay. Say for example, I find myself. We'll just stop it here. If I'm here, I'm going to come up and around. Actually, what I'd probably do is I'd probably go up and around here, come up to here. Here, 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 to there. Assuming I'm low and I make it out okay. That's probably the path I would take to get out. Instead, looking at this from another angle. Does this Junkrat just not have any of his cooldowns? He does. He let you live. Oh, I lost my angle by doing that. Okay. Oh my god, I'm hitting every wrong button here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so yeah, this Junkrat should kill you with his mines, but he doesn't use them. This is... I make this point in other VOD reviews, I'm going to make it here. Don't let playing in lower ranks give you bad habits. You should be dead here. This Junkrat should kill you. But see how, like... You just walk right next to the Junkrat. Like, literally, your elbows touched. Which is ridiculous to me. I don't even... That's just mind-blowing that you could even do that and get away with it. But, and that's by no means a compliment to anything you're doing. That's more of an insult to what this Junkrat is doing. But, You see how, like, clunky your wall riding is? There's nothing smooth about what you're doing here. Okay. Hopefully I got my point across. Let's get back to your first-person view here. You're very grounded.
The objective is now.
I will clear the objective. Stand.
Catch these healing waves.
Yeah, I like that you tried to boot the Zenyatta forward, but I don't know that there was really anything there for you there. You should be healing your tank. Heal your tank. Heal your...
Got us outnumbered. Healing boost.
Get out.
This is my favorite
All the way
part.
out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Hello, hello.
Oh, I just noticed. Wait a minute. You're playing 4v5. Wait, were you 4v5 the whole time? You were 4v5 the whole time.
Now that's sound therapy.
It's Kiriko.
Okay, now okay, so now Kiriko's a better pick here. Kiriko's not great, but it's a hell of a lot better than Zenyatta Lucio. They can cleanse Discord Orb, I guess. Anyway, you've got Amp. You should be amping Bastion when he goes into tank mode, either speed if he's not taking damage, or healing if he is taking damage. Bastion's such a large target, he's going to take a lot of damage.
Louder this time. Boom.
So when he's low like this, you have to heal. Yes? Speeding in and yeeting forward into the enemy team is not helping your Bastion. It's not helping your Orisa. You also have to keep in mind this Kiriko just spawned back into the game, so you're currently going in 4v5.
Speed it up, everyone.
You're on speed too much. Orisa doesn't gain a ton of value from speed boost when she's right in the middle of a point in Ilios and she's kind of by herself. Like, that little extra speed that you're giving Orisa isn't really going to make it that much harder to hit her. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like, for example, Junker Queen or Zarya or something where they're a little bit more of a skinnier tank. So if you're speeding them around, they can kind of bob and weave a little bit more and be a little bit harder to hit. Now, you've got one of the biggest tanks in the game right now. Speed boost doesn't help them. Might help other characters on your team, like speed boosting the Bastion when he was in tank form, for example, might have been a good idea. Granted, he was low, and I would have been healing him probably. Maybe a little bit of a mixture of the two. Maybe kind of move it back and forth between heal speed a little bit. But I wouldn't be too focused on speed boosting an Orisa unless the Orisa's in a chase or you're trying to get her out. Once the fight is going, that speed boost isn't helping her. So unless you're speed boosting something else, a DPS, a support, something else, I would not be too concerned about speed boosting an Orisa. You have Amp and you had low teammates that needed healing. Probably too late to have saved them, but could have been worth a try.
Crank up the game. Get long. Making use of
I don't know
speed,
what
I
that
see.
aim was, but that needs to get cleaned up.
Who else wants a piece of this objective? Feel this in my bones.
You had the right idea, you did the right thing, but you were slow to do it. So when somebody dies on the enemy team and there's a Mercy also on the enemy team, be on the lookout and be a little bit quicker to respond so that if you see Mercy rezzing, you can boop her away and cancel the res. Right idea, but the execution's not there.
Guess they aren't done yet.
So your whole team is dead and respawning. So like Venture's dead and needs to respawn. We just saw 3 others that were dead and they're currently coming out of your spawn. So the question I ask is, why are you in the enemy backline right now. As soon as you failed to boop the Mercy away to cancel the res attempt, you should have been going back to your team and escorting them back with speed boost, especially for Venture, because right now Venture is staggered, and you're about to be even worse in the stagger department than Venture. So you need to get out ASAP here.
This is my favorite part.
Like, you can't pick this fight and win this. You're just asking to die, because she's being mercy pocketed. Like, you're not going to get this kill. It's just not going to happen.
Attack the objective.
And you're being an incredibly easy target right here.
Let's get loud.
See, again, don't let low games teach you bad habits. This is another situation where you should be dead. Like, if you're trying to get better, and you're trying to climb, and let's say you do climb a little bit, there's 2 times here you should have died where you didn't. And it had nothing to do with what you did. It had everything to do with the poor gameplay on the enemy team not punishing your mistake. So don't let some of this stuff fool you thinking like, oh, I'm hard to hit. I'm able to do things other Lucio. No, you're playing against scrubs that just aren't punishing you.
Heel to this beat. We're a speedy team. Amp up this beat.
Again, aim. That aim needs to get cleaned up. Stay with your team here. Stay with your team. Healing your team. Heal your team. Why are we speed boosting? There's no
This BPM.
heal.
Oh, let's break it. Damn.
No. Beat drop should be used as a defensive ult unless you need to push the actual objective point. You don't beat drop to push into the enemy spawn. Now, if the Orisa on the enemy team suddenly kind of like kamikaze dives your team and then suddenly ults, then you beat drop. Junkrat tire comes out and you see it's about, so let's say you're playing back a bit and you see the tire coming towards your team. Beat drop. Save your team from an offensive ultimate. The caveat to that would be like, on a hypothetical situation, say the enemy team's at 99% and you're about to push the objective and this is the final fight of the round. Okay, beat drop to initiate the fight so nobody dies right away. Like that's fine to do. But typically, beat drop and counteract an offensive ultimate. So what do I mean by offensive ultimates? Genji Blade, Nano Blade, Visor, Nano Visor. Venture's ultimate is a good one now to counter. Orisa's ult is a good one. Sigma is a great ult to counter because you can do that one in the air and time it perfectly and you can get some crazy mitigation numbers off of that. What else? Potentially Maga. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on other ones, but, you know, May could be a good one. Reaper could maybe be a good one. It just depends on what your timing is on that one. Torbjorn's could be good. So things like that. You should get the idea off of that. But no, when you beat drop here, like, I'm guessing you're probably thinking like, oh, Venture and Genji are a little low. Orisa was around half-ish. Like, let me beat drop so nobody dies. The problem with that is when you do that, your team thinks that that's a cue where now I gotta go in and get value off of this beat drop. So now what I'm guessing they're going to do is they're gonna go into here and probably feed and die, and then you're going to lose the point. That's my prediction. Let's see if let me get the camera back here. Let's see if I'm right. Oh my god. Let me just take a second here and say I have not watched this VOD review. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if you win or lose this game. I don't have a clue. I mean, a lot of people send in VOD reviews and they typically are losing, so I'm going to assume you're going to lose this game, but I don't know that. I didn't know they were going to do that, but that was just an educated assumption based off of your beat drop. So,
Let's get some healing beats going. Not
good
feeling
kill.
the music?
Uh-oh. They roll back.
You should be on the point
Hands
at
on them,
this
take the
point.
objective.
Back
So
off.
after killing the Zen, you should be trying to contest the point or getting out completely.
These through.
What is going on here?
Whew. That is bloody over here. On the
To
objective.
this beat.
No, 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 no. Okay. Zen, okay, let's just say you just killed the Zen. As soon as you killed Zen, in my mind, there's only two things for you to do here. You either go and contest the point and try to just be annoying to hit and holding the point for as long as possible, because once they take it back, there's time left. I'm not saying there isn't, but there's not a lot of time left, and you guys still have ground to make up. So the longer you can hold that point, the better. Or get out entirely and get back to your team and speed them out of spawn so you guys can come back as a group of 5 again as quickly as possible to push the point. So again, don't let
I can use
low-level games give you bad habits, because honestly, I'm surprised you even lived as long as you did. Like,
these through.
what that was right there, I don't know, like, what I mean, you're trying to duel Widow. The problem is that Orissa's taking the point and is completely unimpeded in doing so, and the rest of the team only has you to pay attention to, if they're paying attention at all. So that Widow's gonna get mercy pocketed.
That is bloody over
Or
here.
at least I would have assumed that's what would have happened. I don't know. I guess Mercy just forgot, or maybe somebody got some good poke damage on Junkrat and now she's distracted. But this is, in my mind, this wouldn't be the fight to pick. At least not with your current level of aiming and wall riding ability. I wouldn't try to pick this fight until those skills get better. So like,
This beat.
You with me?
as soon as you landed on the ground, because you clearly don't have a plan of action for how to get up there correctly. If you wanted to get up there, you would just slide onto this and then hop onto the pillars, and then you'd be up here. That's how you would get up there efficiently. And then if you really wanted to get fancy with it, you could kind of dodge and weave through the pillars to be a little harder to hit. But that's a little bit more advanced than where we're trying to go right now. We're kind of going to go basic Lucio right now. So instead, you land on the ground, and then you kind of get a little bit of air, and then you are back on the ground again. So the fact that you're not dead right here,
On the objective.
you should take that as a win. You got a little poke damage. You should just get out at this point. How do you get out here? You go in here and through that way. And if the Widow goes back on the ground trying to shoot you, then you would have to kind of dodge and weave through pillars and get creative with it. But that's how you should be getting out. I would not be trying to poke on this fight any further because of that. And again, a better Widow would have killed you sooner than that. And then to go into this further, the fact that you died there, your team's just now starting to engage in the fight. They didn't have you in any of that early engage. They didn't have you speed boosting them out of spawn. And now that you died before the fight really even started, they didn't have you for that fight at all.
I'm on the objective.
That was a good kill by the Venture.
Our enemy craves another defeat.
I feel this in my bones.
Why did you do the boop there? What was the point of that?
Quick in the paint.
That one I at least get because you knocked him off the point for like a second. But that first one, I don't know why you would. I don't really see the point in that one. Just hold it. The other thing I would suggest, because of the way you've been using your boops, use them for finishing blows because it's so easy to hit. When you do it too early, you make it harder on yourself to hit the opposing target that you're trying to hit because you just boop them away. Save it for when they're low and use it as like the fatality in Mortal Kombat, if you will.
You want that louder?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Orissa's one of the easiest targets in the game to hit. You're struggling to hit Orissa here. What's going on with your aim? There you go. Why are we in the enemy spawn right now? What is this? That is blatant feeding. If you were in my game, I would have reported you for gameplay sabotage, intentional feeding. I don't know what you're doing there. You gotta heal and peel for your support. That's one of Lucio's jobs. The other support, you gotta pay attention to them and peel for them a little bit. You had amp, so if you were kind of monitoring your Kiriko there, you could have done an amp up and healed them and kept them going through this fight. The other thing I was going to say is you have to live because now the Kiriko's dead and it's just you for healing, but your aim is very low. You're not seeing what's above you.
This is my favorite part.
Plotting out the dig site.
Helden sterben nicht.
All right, your team won the round.
Score.
I'm gonna be honest, they did that without you. I didn't see you giving your team a lot of value there. There was some. Killing the Zen was good when you killed the Zen. You know, you got some decent shots off on like the Orisa. But honestly, your team won that without you for the most part.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You want that louder?
So remember how we talked about how you like leave your team behind and then you just yeet into the enemy team? I mean, I'm just gonna point out that you're doing that again. Also, I don't recommend dueling Pharah as Lucio unless your skills get a lot better. Surprisingly, you got the better end of that duel, but again, don't let a low rank game teach you bad mistakes, because that's typically not a fight you would want to pick in that type of a fashion. If the Pharah were a little bit more distracted and more engaged into a team fight, maybe if you're, and you're wall riding around and you've already got some height, then maybe you pick it a little bit, but like, that you were asking to die there. I don't really know why the Pharah let you live. I feel like the Pharah should have kind of hunted you down.
Amp up this beat.
Like, you need to get back to your team. You either need to get back to your team or find a new target to harass. Typically, shooting at Mercy is a good thing, but you're missing quite a bit, so I'd maybe try to find something a little easier to hit. If it were me, I would probably be paying attention to what the enemy Lucio's doing. When I'm Lucio and I've got an enemy Lucio, I'm looking for any and every way imaginable to diff my counterpart. So boop him off of wall riding and make his wall riding more difficult. Pick a fight with him, get him distracted so that he's focused on you and not his team. And even better, if you can do that, do it in a way where it kind of gets him out of position and into your team, so you're healing or speed boosting your team, and suddenly now he's the one overextended. Get him chasing you a little bit, shoot the sim turret. So when there's a Lucio on Ilios, don't be on the ground there. Don't ever be on the ground there. Even as Lucio, don't be there. There's a shot you might be able to wall ride and recover yourself, but if he boops you correctly, you would not be able to recover. So you can wall ride around the wall that's on the left here. That's fine, but don't be on the ground there unless that Lucio and that Orisa are dead. Even the Pharah could boop you off of there. So yeah, this area right here on like the whole surrounding area of the point, it's going to be very dangerous. A lot of people are going to be asking to get booped. Healing, 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 heal. So, starting with this season, be careful about dueling Symmetras. I'm a former Symmetra main that started dabbling with her again this season with the new change to her. For those that don't know, her beam charge is 25% faster now, so to go from level 1, 2, and 3. She's not a bad duelist anymore. She's not great, but she's not bad either now. She's probably somewhere in the middle of all of it at this point. So I would not be looking to take close, engaging fights with Symmetras. Old Symmetra from Overwatch 2? Sure. Her laser was garbage. We all know that. Unless it was already charged when you engaged it. If it was level 1, you could definitely go in, do your damage to her, and either get out or have her dead before that beam ever really got to any real threat level. That's not the case anymore, so be careful just picking close encountered fights with Symmetra. That was asking to die again. A better sim, in my opinion, would have killed you there. I like the wall riding until you got stuck, and then now you're back on the ground again. You said you've been playing Lucio for a year, and your wall riding is like this. You really gotta focus on your wall riding. You just walked in front of the enemy tank, like point blank. I think you missed an opportunity to boop the Lucio off the map. We're gonna slow this down. I think I saw it. I just want to make sure. Yeah, right there. If you were waiting for somebody to be out here, you'd have killed Lucio. This is a boop. He should be dead. But you don't have... One, you don't have boop. Two, you're not looking for it. You know, but these are things you should be looking for if you're playing Lucio on Ilios. Let's go back to 1 here. This is where I would be looking to beat drop. You're close to it, but because you don't have it, switch to speed, amp up, and get everybody out.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Why? You missed the reason for doing it. They're dead. Are you expecting Symmetra to kill your whole team right now? I mean, if you just healed, your whole team would have focused her down. And honestly, she's boopable. You could kill her just with a boop.
Heyo!
Louder this time.
No, that's bad form. You've done nothing this game to warrant teabagging anybody. Knock it off. I'm fine with people teabagging, don't get me wrong, but be doing something before you engage in that.
Let's do it faster.
Can't let them take the objective!
Like, what was any of that? Reminder, you just teabag somebody only to come out and do whatever this is. You've missed every shot. You're... Now you're in sim turrets. You were late to your venture, and now you're being bombed by Farah, a position you shouldn't be in anyway. Like, all of that was bad. Like, yeah, that's just feeding. I don't know why you wouldn't just play the point, let them come to you, wait for them to take bad positions, and then try to boop them off. Meanwhile, your team is in your aura so that you can speed them around, you can heal them. This is where you should be playing. Like, why are we going out here, out in the open, into Symmetra turrets, into Farah? Just, why?
Justice reigns from above.
Like, usually I'm not this scolding or of a player, but I mean, you said you've been playing Lucio for a year. I don't see it. It looks like you picked him up yesterday.
Let's get some healing beats going.
I don't know what you're... Okay, if you're looking to boop somebody off of like this area, you should be playing up here. Like, you could be wall riding, or you could just be sitting up here, and then when they come out, then you can come down and boop them off. If that's what you're looking to do. If it's not, I don't honestly know what you're trying to do here. I think that's what you're trying to do, but I'm honestly not sure. Going after the tank isn't the play here. Lucio would be a good pick for somebody to attack. You could go after Mercy. She's on the ground right now and kind of in an awkward spot. Honestly, I'm not really sure why she's not with the Farah, unless the Farah died. No, Farah's right there, so she should be with Farah, frankly. But anyway, you should be shooting either at Mercy or looking for Sim or Lucio or something like that. Shooting at this Orisa is not going to do anything. Unless you're just trying to build ult charge, but even that's not great. Get the Sim turrets. So, they have the point. Hopefully you know this. So just standing on it while the whole enemy team is here isn't doing anything. You should be playing... like what I would be doing here is I would be playing along the outside, looking for where my team is and where they're taking damage, coming over to them, healing, speeding around, looking for anybody to boop off of the point, assuming they're all on the point, which in this case they are. So like, maybe if you're wall riding around enough, maybe you catch the Lucio and he goes out here, and suddenly maybe you can fly in and boop them off, and then suddenly bounce back out again, wall ride around, and now I'm healing, speeding Venture around, and I'm poking at the Orisa, I'm poking at the Pharah a little bit while being on the wall, like, you know, kind of hopping around here, coming back around because now Venture's full health again, coming over here. Maybe I take some pot shots at the Pharah who's flying around. Maybe Pharah flies out to try to contest me, and suddenly now she's off of the point. Then I could come back onto the point. Now I'm shooting at Pharah or shooting at Orisa while the Pharah is now outside of the point. Maybe then the Pharah comes back into the point because now I'm back in here. Then I come out, and then I'm maybe shooting at her because now she's sucked back into the room again. You see how I'm playing that versus what you're doing, where you just sit in a corner and hope that it works? This is a little bit better. Get out, get out. There's nothing for you here. Yeah. So, what you were kind of doing there, that's what I would have liked to have seen you do the whole fight, though. And your wall riding needs to be cleaned up there because the wall riding was still sloppy. But you had the right idea, but you got to that right idea way too late. It was already too late at that point. You should have been doing that like the whole fight. So at this point, we gotta just hopefully. Okay, yeah, you'll be the last one in. So for AFK and spawn, go.
Louder this time.
It's ready. You know the drill.
Could heal your Orisa a little bit. Could build up a little ult charge. Don't be afraid to heal your team. That's ult charge. More beat drops, the better you can land. Unless the round is a complete, utter stomp, you should get at least 2 beat drops a round. At least 2. You know, and by, what I mean by stomp is like if the enemy team's got a smurf and they're just slaughtering everybody and there's nothing to heal, or vice versa. You're just slaughtering everybody on the opposing team and there's not much of a fight being put up. That's different. But in a game where it's actually like 72 to 70, like this is a full round here. So 2 beat drops, like you should already be getting closer to your second one in my mind. So, okay. You know there's a Symmetra. You know they've got their sentries on the point. Take off angles and get these sentries down so when Orisa pushes in, she doesn't have to worry about a bunch of sentries beaming her down, because Sim does counter, or she's a soft counter to Orisa. Orisa has no real defense for Symmetra's lasers. Like, if she does the javelin spin, she's not eating that damage. When she armors up, she's taking less damage, but, you know, she's still getting beamed down. She's still taking a bunch of damage. Do what you can to help this Orisa. Take out the sentry so that when they walk in, they don't have to worry about getting beamed down.
This is my favorite part.
So you're standing in really dangerous spots again.
Back on.
A better Lucio boots you off the map. You could have been booped off twice. So yeah, tanks don't move when you boop them. So I mean, unless you're just doing that just to try to do extra damage, you know. After your speed, good.
Careful, we're outnumbered.
You know, when you're kind of flustered like that, you can punch those sentries and just take them out with a punch. That's it. I was debating on if I was even going to bring this up, but once you get your wall riding better and your movement gets cleaned up, start doing punches with your shooting combinations that you're doing, because you'll get extra damage out of it. But like, if you were healing your team more, that 90% would probably be like in the 20 to 40 range on a third ultimate, as opposed to not even getting your second one. Like, you're not building ult charge. Some of that's because you're just shooting at a tank. Some of it's because your aim isn't very good. Some of it's because you're not playing with your team enough, so they're not getting enough healing, which means you're not getting ult charge. you know, if you were in position and kind of hunting for boops a little bit better, that would be ult charge, but none of that's really happening here, so that's why you didn't get a second ult, which isn't good. You should be definitely getting at least 2 ultimates.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get loud.
Hug the left wall, and that's how you would come out of this, unless you're just trying to stay with your team. But if you wall ride that left wall, this would actually be the one map where going a bit ahead of your team is actually advantageous, because then you're playing for boops for into the well. This map here is, in my mind, specifically what makes Ilios a Lucio map combination, but the last map is good for Lucio too. It's really just that first one that's not great for Lucio. But this is the king of all Lucio maps here. So if you want to get ahead of your team on this particular map to start taking positions for the well, this would be the one map I would excuse that for. Typically, there's 2 ways of playing that. Like if you're hugging that left wall, you would actually be up here rather than on the ground. And then you would come up here, come up here, come up here, and then you would be hovering around here. And if you get up here quick enough, you could actually land a few shots to somebody from up here. But typically, what I normally see these days is a Roadhog or an enemy will play into this gazebo. So then what you're looking to do is you're going to wall ride around up here, and then when they come to poke out, you're going to drop down and boop them into the well. Sometimes you're going to be able to go around here onto this wall riding, of course, and when the enemy starts scattering out in this vicinity, then you might be able to come from up there, come to down here, around, and boop them off into the well. The thing that I used to do that I find not as helpful as it used to be, I think people have just wisened up to it, is what I used to do is I would wall ride here, here, break these 2 barriers, come to here, go up to here, we'll slide in up here, come over here, slide this wall, come over here, slide here, and then bounce off of here, and then boot people into the well. That's what I used to do, but I find that that hasn't been working out too well anymore. But something to keep in mind. Maybe you'll have better luck with it than I have been lately, but... Oh, maybe you already know this trick, you're just kind of taking a more roundabout way to it. Yeah, it looks like you might know that one already, which is good. Yeah, that's a nothing boop even. Oh my god, you booped a tank into the well. Wow, booping a tank and getting an environmental kill is damn near impossible after they reverted Lucio's boop to tank. So, for all the scolding I've been doing to you, great job. Yeah, that you were expecting them to go into the hole. That was not going to happen. So I don't know why you kind of stopped to watch. You should have just stayed on him there.
Let's do it fast. Good and new. Turn it up, turn it up.
That could have been a boop right there. Oh no, that was Mercy. Never mind. She would have probably been able. Considering where her team is, that might have been a boop. Might have been. You could have punch killed that Pharah right there. if you, first of all, you're not throwing punches at all. So begin throwing punches, and then you'll start seeing opportunities where you're missing kills because you're not doing it. That Pharah was punchable, and you would have gotten a punch kill on a Pharah.
Back off. Let's get loud.
Keeping the heat on.
I am on fire. Match this.
Careful
EPM.
where you're standing, because you do have an enemy Lucio looming about, and you're standing in a spot that, I mean, you probably would have just went to the other side of the well, but be careful about that. Speed out, speed out.
Let's get into a healing. Guess they aren't done yet. Oh, you want to hear this?
Protect the objective.
Heal to this beat. Break up the game. Get long.
They're taking point.
Yeah, I'm turning up. Now grab this out there.
Why not go inside the well and slide around inside the well to contest and try to stay a little bit out of sight, out of mind, and then just kind of climb back out once they maybe forget about you.
Check this out.
Otherwise,
I am on
speed
fire.
your Roadhog around.
Oh, let's break it. Damn.
I don't hate that ult, but I don't love it either. I don't know that that was necessary. I probably hold on to that for maybe like when Pharah ults, or if the fight starts looking a little bit worse than it actually is currently looking. It doesn't look all that bad yet. It's not great, but it's not, I mean, you have the point. Until it gets to 99, like... Yeah, like if you had beat drop coming right out of that well, that would have been great.
Back off. That's what I call pop.
Good kill on the Tracer.
Oh, you want to hear this?
But yeah, try to heal your Ana there. Okay, and you won. So, alright, you won the game. Alright. Yeah, so number one, your wall riding, just say WR, your wall riding needs a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's very clunky. That needs to get a lot better. 2, your aim. 3, alt charge, building that up. 4, beat use. Your boop usage, you do it too soon. And then 6 is positioning. You have a lot of work to do. A lot of work if you're going to continue playing Lucio. I'm not going to tell you not to, but if you're going to be a Lucio main, you have a lot of work to do. So I would say these 6 things, and I'm rattling this off quickly because there was a lot to clean up there. So work on those 6 things for now. You're welcome to submit another VOD review in the future, and we can see how much you've improved if you want to go that route. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.